Like, I'm not very good at most things, I think. Maybe I'm better than, like, the average user, but I'm nowhere near the like, capabilities of, like, programs. Like, I use Microsoft Office and stuff. Like, Excel. Like, I have a little Excel spreadsheet to manage my bank accounts. Like, I mean, I download the bank account things and I put them in there to make sure they match and stuff. But, like, few people realize this, but Excel can be used for programming. Like, you can make legit programs out of Excel and stuff. Or like Photoshop, like I could probably edit an image a little bit. Like some of the people on Photoshop are like absolutely ridiculous.
So Cloudy is a way to have your friends help you make decisions or to have groups make decisions. So some good examples are, say you and 5 other friends want to go out to dinner a certain night. You can open up Cloudy, select that friend list of that group of people and say, where should we go to dinner? And give a few options. Like Chipotle or Noodles, and everyone gets notified of it even if they don't have an iPhone. So so your friends don't have to have the app for it to be useful, and they can reply by text, and then you see in a minute or two, like 75% of your friends want to go to Chipotle, and you send back the message to them, we're going to go to Chipotle, or like you can do that for as many people as you want. Like our fraternity, you can make a decision. We've done that before. So yeah, it's like much easier than group texting because you don't get back a dozen different responses saying a dozen different things. You get back just, this is what the group thinks. The work I do, I'm most of the time coding. So like the way Cloudy works is that there's an iPhone application and a server, and I'm doing the server. So I'm not doing anything that people will actually see. But
I work with Linux more because I run Linux on my laptop. And I acquired this really old server computer from like the top floor of the women's building off of a free table. It's really heavy, and it's really old, and it's really big. As well as combined with some other old parts that I have, and made a desktop computer, and I'm going to hopefully do some projects with that.
I once made a logo in Photoshop. I want to add like little flame effects. I have no idea how to do that in Photoshop. I mean, I just looked up a guide how to add flame effects, and then using that guide and like varying a little bit. It was really simple.
I am going, hopefully, to teach myself Python.
Like, basic information, like entry-level information, is really easy to find. As you go like higher up, it's harder and harder, and it gets kind of complicated too because you get like research articles which are confusing. Like as you get more advanced, it kind of gets harder. So then you're like more like your friends and like teachers especially. They're really good. Hey, I want to play this game. Can I play it? And then you see like, oh, I need these computer specifications, but why? And then it's just like looking for one thing ends up looking for like 10 things. Each of those looks like 10 things, and you learn a lot. Like for example, say you play a game, and then you want to make it, and it doesn't work. And you look up how to make it work, and then you make it work. Or like, for example, the first time I ever saw piracy was this game I borrowed from a friend, and I really wanted to play it. So my dad helped me out, and he said something about finding a crack off an illegitimate website. So then I'm like, oh, what's that? I could do that myself. So
Cloudy is like definitely not the only coding I do. Sometimes I'll have a little problem, like I have to send an email. Someone wants me to like generate an email to like 50 people, and I'll write a little program to do it instead of doing it manually. Like or a lot of things I just kind of code for fun. Like it's a hobby. It's not all for Cloudy, like my work. So
I was in a band in high school and wanted to record, and so I just learned how to do it. I feel like once you know how to use a program, you can use basically any software. So I'd never used the program that we use, the radio station, is Pro Tools. I'd never used it before. That's also another one that I didn't even know on the list. But then I just kind of figured it out because I'd used Logic and Soundcheck Pro. They're similar enough that you can just kind of do it. If they're well made, then they're intuitive. Like my mom has an iPad. It's sweet. I love the thing. And again, it's totally intuitive. There's an example of a piece of technology that I'm fairly confident that anyone could use. Like my grandma can use the iPad instantly, and but her computer situation is like a disaster. They're still using like AOL. I don't know who uses AOL. I guess grandparents.
I think it's just people don't know how to look for things. Like, they're really good tools out there for learning everything. Like Calc 3, I didn't really learn from class. I learned from a website that I found. Or like if you look at Wolfram Math World, they do a very good job of like explaining concepts, having equations and stuff. So I don't know. I've always like, if I needed to find something, I would search for it because I know it exists on the internet.
If nobody in my immediate vicinity knows the correct answer, or thinks we all know the answer, we can always check it against the internet.
It really annoys me when people don't do that. Because to me, it's such a like obvious thing. Like, you want to find something, go to Google, type in your exact question, and you'll find it. And then